All right, guys, we are back. Welcome to the channel. Matt Garland here, NMLS number 58700, better known as MG the Mortgage Guy. We are live. We are blessed. Thank God for another day. All newcomers, welcome to the dark side. Welcome to my world. Make sure you guys smash that like button, and most importantly, hit that bell for notifications and subscribe if you're new here. All right, we got Tukes Productions in the building. Oh, hold on. Fuck Tukes for a second.
Oh, wow. Damn, yo.
Fuck Tukes for a second. Hold on. I forgot. You got to go to mgbookstore.com. Pick up the latest and greatest books. How's that going?
Yo,
Nah, I'm Hicks.
that's
And the
crazy.
Real Estate Investors Manifesto. We love Tukes. Now, Tukes, introduce yourself.
That's how we starting the day off, huh?
That's how we starting the day
I'm
off.
here.
Tukes Productions
I am here.
is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. And we have a special guest today, Miss Vanessa Cole. Miss Vanessa Cole, straight out of Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas.
How are you, Vanessa? How's
good.
everything?
I'm good.
Life is good?
Excellent.
Welcome to New York City.
Thank you. Thank you, Tukes, for
How
having
you liking
me.
How you
Thank
liking
Matt.
Garland Media headquarters so far?
Oh, it's amazing.
Are we treating you good over here?
It's amazing. I mean, it's a full production here. I was not expecting this.
Yeah, we lit over here.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tukes. I can't take no credit for none of this.
Shout out to Tukes.
Shout out
I'm
to
honored.
Tukes.
Wow.
Shout out.
compliment.
I always give you your props, man.
Nah,
you
you
just
do.
get you just
You
get on
do.
my damn nerves some days. But I always give you compliments. Shout out to all our regulars are in the building. Shout out to everybody. Thank you for tuning in. And I'm gonna try my best to stay off this phone. But we're gonna have a short episode because I got to head to Brooklyn for a speaking engagement tonight. So we're gonna give you guys a lot of gems in a short period of time. So drop some gems in the comments if you're ready. Tukes, let's set it off.
Wow. I got to set it off.
Yeah, we're talking development today, right?
Okay.
We're talking development. Vanessa's a developer. First of all, Vanessa, introduce yourself to the people who might not know who you are.
Yeah. So my name is Vanessa Cole. I'm a builder developer in Houston, Texas. I tell people I started from a bank teller, turned into a developer, and a lot of that was through the power of relationships and the power of being intentional with your life. So I've done 50 affordable homes. We have 100 acres outside of Houston that we've already sold, over 75% of that development. And I have 18 acres under contract, 43 acres under contract, and we just closed on 700 acres of the 1,400 that we have under contract. So we are busy, but I love it. I do believe that this is my purposeful work, and I'm honored to share this space with you guys.
I love it. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. She's bona fide, real deal. Don't play with Vanessa, please. Okay. All right, Tukes, you got questions? Because you always got questions.
Yeah, so we started talking offline a little bit. So you mentioned you were from New York, right?
Yes, I'm originally from New York. I was born in New York, raised in Texas.
So what made you want to go to Texas and start this project?
So I moved to Texas when I was young,
Okay.
but I always had an entrepreneurial spirit about me, and I loved investments. I loved business, and I just found real estate to be that vehicle for me. So
How do you even go into that? Like, what made you want to go into development over other things?
honestly, I was pushed into this. So like I said earlier, I was a bank teller, and I
Okay.
used to process these people's checks coming in the bank. And one guy that would always come in there, I didn't know, but he was the real estate asset manager of Midtown, which is like part of our downtown. And I told him, I was like, hey, I'm getting my real estate license. And he was like, well, call me. I have some contracts for you. So then I learned that that group was acquiring lots downtown and Midtown with the goal to do affordable housing later down the road. So I learned lot acquisitions coming right out of my teller position. And then I was just educated on, and I did a good job for him, that he was like, hey, you should consider building and developing because you're a double minority. You're a woman and I'm Black and Spanish. And he's like, this would be a good opportunity for you. He was like, the city has like thousands of lots. So I was like, ugh, sounds like a lot of work, development, building. But then I took a step back and I was like, there's a lot of opportunity here. When you research affordable housing, it's a crisis. You know, it's a global crisis. And so what do we do as business people? If you see that there's a problem and you can be a part of that solution to that problem, then that means you can monetize off of that. So I said, okay, let me put my little team together. So he introduced me to 2 builders, and he was like, call them, pick their brain, see how they formed their company, how they got the financing, and go for it. And that's what I did.
Wow.
I went for it.
So you said lot acquisitions?
Yeah, lot acquisitions. So that just means that we help buy the lots. We're acquiring the lots.
And a lot is just like a plot of land or something like that?
That's correct. Sorry. So in Texas, yes, we call it lots. It's a 5,000 square foot lot. It's 50 by 100.
Right.
So 50 in the front, 100 go in the back. So 5,000 square feet. We put a 3-bed, 2-bath house on there.
Oh, so you build, so you don't just buy the land, you actually build on top of it as well. It's not just.
Yes, I have a construction company.
Okay.
Yes. It's a lot of work. Do you see these bags? It's a lot of work. Yeah.
Okay. So this affordable housing, is it, so from my understanding, when like, at least in New York, I've always heard that when these buildings are put up, they're supposed to have certain apartments allocated for those for affordable housing. So how do you, like, these developments that you're doing, is just the whole thing is affordable housing, or it's just like certain apartments?
Yes. So the difference in Texas, you know, there's no shortage of land. So I'm not in the commercial affordable housing space. So I'm not doing multifamily rental affordable housing. I'm doing single family for sale homes, affordable housing. So I'm wanting this first time home buyer that keeps getting priced out of the open market to get a piece of home ownership, right? I want you to be able to buy that home, pay off that mortgage as quickly as possible, maintain that home with pride, and then pass on that home to your heir. So you're coming in, I'll give you an example. The houses that we just sold 2 years ago, the buyers got in for $230,000.
Right.
That was the purchase price. There's down payment assistance opportunities, and they were able to get $30,000 towards their closing costs and mortgage buy down. So essentially, they walked into that house for $200,000. 11 months later, that same house appraised for $450,000.
Wow.
Yes, it's right next to the University of Houston. So this teacher, the guy's a teacher, another lady works in like hospitality. You got into a house for $200K, and now you're sitting on a $400K nest egg, you know? Like, what other investment opportunities is the average person doing to get that type of return?
Yeah.
So what are the cons, right? Well, the city does put this clause, this provision in your deed that states, okay, if you go to sell this house within the first 10 to 20 years, you're going to have to pay us back, because the city is saying that.
Right.
They're like, because we took out the land cost and we gave you some money to close, you're not just going to flip this house and, you know, get rich. So I tell them, you stay in there for, 10, 20 years and you pass it on to your heirs, because that's the whole generational cycle and curses that we're trying to break, right? We're trying to leave legacy, pass, assets on, right? So, and you do that by putting your family in a position to win when you're gone.
Right.
So those are the affordable housing opportunities that we have in Houston. I'm about home ownership. I'm about assets, right? So, yeah.
Hold on. A lot of questions now.
Now you're good, man. I was waiting for you to ask some questions.
I kind of figured that, but I was letting you go. All right. Good job so far for setting this up. So I just want to break this down for everybody.
Yeah.
In layman's terms, right? Because You're doing affordable housing. You're buying single-family properties. You're getting incentives from the city in order to give them down payment assistance, correct?
Correct. Yes. So the incentive so for example, we have what's called a TERS in Houston. It's called a tax increment reinvestment zone. All that is just a boundary, and through taxpayers' dollars, a portion of taxpayers' dollars goes towards affordable housing. So the city says, hey, builder, I'm going to sell you 10 lots at a discount, and I need you to build on those 10 lots and put a first-time home buyer on each of those lots in those houses. So the, I guess, subsidy, if you will, is they take the land cost out, and that's where the builder that's how we make our money. And
So instead of charging you, let's just say $50,000 for the land, let's just say, for example, the city will say, we'll give you this land.
We'll sell you, instead of selling you the land for $50,000, we'll sell you the land for $5,000 or $10,000. $10,000 has been the max.
So we'll sell it for $10,000, saving you $40,000. But in order for this to happen, you have to put a first-time home buyer in here, and the price point has to be at a certain threshold.
It's capped.
It's capped.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And then on top of that, that first-time home buyer will now be eligible. Well, when they do that, do they have to meet like these AMI guidelines, area median income guidelines, to purchase?
That is correct. And the area median income for a household of one is $74,000. That's a healthy income, you know? So, at least in Houston, you know,
74,000
annually. Yes. And
So
once again, I'm in the Texas market.
Do you understand AMIs?
So that's why I asked the question. Yeah.
So AMIs is basically like they'll say you can't make no more than 80% of the
For affordable housing.
for most first-time home buyer programs that the city or the state or the government gives to home buyers, it's all based off of you qualify if your income doesn't exceed
a certain amount
of money, and it's based off of family size. Family of one, like she said in Houston, was 74,000. Family two will probably be 95,000 or 100. I'm just making it up, just trying to give you an example, right? And it goes on and on to, like, I think a family 4 plus is like 125 or something, just as an example. That's kind of how the chart would read. And as long as someone is the buyer, the home buyer that's coming in is a first-time home buyer. First-time home buyer by definition is someone who hasn't owned real estate within the past 3 years.
3 years.
Right? So, and most people don't know that. You can have owned a house 5 years ago, sold it, but you haven't had no ownership and no property for the past 3 years. Your name is not on no deed. You are technically now considered a first-time home buyer.
So it just resets
It
if you don't own for 3 years.
resets, basically. And if you don't exceed the income, the AMI guidelines, and your DTI qualifies, obviously, to get approved for a loan, then you can purchase one of Vanessa's homes.
That is correct.
So there must be a long list for these to even qualify, no?
A long list to qualify?
Like is
people.
people who,
Like
because
a
that
waiting
salary
list.
is really
Oh my
not like a
God.
waiting list. Yeah.
I can't even finish a house before it goes under contract. Like, at one point, I had like 150 buyers waiting, and I was telling the city, like, I need more houses, I need more houses, I need more houses. But yeah, when I'm in permitting, I'm putting together my 3D rendering, so I'm showing a mock-up, and then I'm pushing it on social media, MLS, you know, different channels, work in the neighborhood, and then they go like that. So
this is probably guaranteed. Like whenever you build a home, it's definitely somebody's gonna buy it for sure.
I mean, so far so good. So far so good.
Knock on wood. But I mean, really break it down though, like she said, right? So from a developer standpoint, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Right? You're getting the land from the city, because the city, what most people don't even realize, most of these cities own a lot of the land in the counties.
Right.
Right? And they land bank them. They hold them. Right?
Yeah.
And when the developer comes in, now they buy that land. If they can meet these criteria, like Vanessa said, with providing affordable housing, because like she said, it's a crisis all throughout America.
Right.
in the world for that matter. So now you go into this, you getting a steep discount. Now you helping the economy, you helping blue collar workers.
Right.
Yeah, it's creating the whole atmosphere. So now, profit margin wise, you wouldn't make as much as a regular builder going for market value, right? Because remember that house was worth what, 200,000 more.
Yeah.
You know,
But you do more volume though?
So my
but
profit,
you can do more volume.
and that's
Okay.
what I looked at, right? So yes, my profit margin is smaller than the market rate, but it's the volume play is what I was looking at. My thought process in creating this company was the Chick-fil-A model. Like I
Okay.
love, y'all have Chick-fil-A out here?
Yeah, we do.
The
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A model, right? We're keeping it simple, right? KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Chick-fil-A can appeal to the kids at school. They can appeal to corporate America. And it's just simple. It's the
Yeah.
simple chicken. It's great customer service. Like that's how I looked at this. And the price point is small, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I had to look at the numbers of like, okay, if I'm going to get into this space, I can't do 1 or 2 homes. I have to do 10 at one time. I have to make sure my finishes are similar. I have 2 different floor plans. I change like 2 to 3 different elevations.
Right.
And then elevations is the front of the house for those who don't know. And then I change up a little bit of the finishes to try to give it its own feel, because you got to think of, logistics wise when you're ordering materials and when you're installing. So I had
Yeah.
to look at this as if, I have a Chick-fil-A franchise and we're just trying to get these orders out.
Right.
But it's not just rushing houses out. It's doing it with quality, and it's, giving these people a good experience, right? So for me, it's been the Chick-fil-A model since day one. And it's been great.
I love that.
Do you take a hit on quality when it comes to this because it is lower priced or lower value?
So we have to meet code requirements.
Okay.
We have the same requirements as the market rate buyers. I just can't go all out in terms of like custom finishes.
Right. That's yeah. Okay.
But no, we have, it's the City of Houston code is pretty stringent.
Interesting. This is an interesting model. All right. So you're building these houses, you're getting steep discounts, right? You're providing housing for people who are getting priced out, plus you're giving them a product that in a couple years, they're definitely going to have equity. So you're helping them create generational wealth for their families. Now, my question is, you said that they couldn't sell the house for like 10 years because when they're getting these down payment assistance programs, it has their own restrictions if you're taking like government money. But they are able to possibly tap into equity. And if they tap into equity, then they have to pay back their down payment assistance, correct?
So I don't know if they can tap into the equity. I haven't seen that done yet. So you're meaning like a HELOC or, some type of loan against their house? I don't know. Now, the city is not saying, oh, you can't go anywhere. You must stay in this house forever. Like they understand life changes happen. I just try to tell the buyers, just try to stay in it as long as you can. Like once again, what other opportunity do you have where you're buying a house for $200K and now it's appraised for $400K
Right.
in 11 months? That was crazy.
That's insane.
When I saw that, like the buyers were literally texting me their tax statements. Another con to that though is that now they're having to pay taxes on that $400K. So that's what I'm fighting right now with city council. And
Why they paying taxes on the new value?
because the appraisal
Oh,
district,
property taxes.
Yeah, property taxes.
Property taxes. I was going to say, why they paying income taxes? That's the
Yeah.
first thing I thought of. So, yeah.
the appraisal district doesn't recognize it as an
Affordable
affordable
house,
housing.
Oh,
Like
okay.
other exemptions where we have like your homestead exemption or senior or disability exemption. But we're working on it.
Right.
But I like to be transparent, because it sounds good. Like, okay, the last 9 homes, I made $500,000 on that profit. But what are the cons, right? There are always cons.
Don't let that go over people's head, though. Right? You just said something very
Yeah.
important.
I was like, wait, what?
You said that very
500?
casually. Yeah, I made $500,000. You know,
I mean,
Profit? What? What are we talking about? So where do I sign up? Where do I sign up at?
that was a casual stunt. Damn it, that's
look, but it comes with work, right? It comes with a lot of hard work. You know, I build in low to moderate income communities. I go into areas where this is why a lot of builders don't want to touch it, and a lot of investors. I mean, to be frank, we build in the hood. That's what it is. So, I mean, I was there in the beginning where you had crackheads coming up and down, you know, houses getting shot at, my trades being robbed at gunpoint.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, I mean, it was the Wild Wild West.
Damn.
But it's gotten better over time. So once again, like I was talking about the power of relationships, I had to learn, let me build stronger ties in this community. Like, let me introduce this community. Let me tell them who I am and why we're here and what we're doing.
Smart.
And I mean, so, you know, I say that 500K, but it's a lot of like boots on the ground work, right? It's a lot of work. But I love this stuff. Like, and we talk, another thing for the city, how is this impacting the city? Well, the city wants the tax-based revenue, right? The city wants that tax income that's coming off of these houses.
Right.
So when those lots sit vacant and abandoned and people aren't paying taxes on it, they're not making any money on that.
Okay.
And they're not, and I think you're taxed on the valuation of that lot. So that lot may be worth $50,000.
Yeah.
But the city's looking like, I'm not making any money off $50,000. Well, now that you put a $200,000 house on there, well, now I'm bringing in some income, and we're helping. And then the other issue is the city workers and people who work in the city, because they can't afford to live in the city, are having to move to the suburbs. And they want people to be able to live, work, and play in their city.
So how do you because you said it was 9?
Yeah.
So how do you go about managing all of these, and what's like the timeline for that amount of homes?
Yeah, so my build timeline is 120 days.
For one?
All of them.
For 9?
Yeah, so for no more than 5 months, because we were hitting it bloop, 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 bloop. We're pouring 2 to 3 slabs at one time. I've got 2 crews doing the framing.
Hold on.
That's crazy.
Hold on. I don't want you to go over Took's head. I see Took's
Wait, I have more
head.
questions though. I got more questions.
Hold on. I'm going to help you out here. Okay. Vanessa, take
Yes.
your drink of water. Okay. I need you to break down the steps now of building 9 homes out of town from A to Z if you can.
Yeah.
So that way they can kind of understand the flow chart of all of this. Because how you was about to break it down, it would have went over their head.
Yes. So once
Remember,
again,
kiss.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yes.
That's what I tell. I'm the stupid one. So I say, keep it simple, stupid. This is me talking to myself. And the Chick-fil-A model,
Okay.
right? So we don't have a menu. We don't have a Jack in the Box, McDonald's menu. We don't have a bunch of items on our menu. I've got 2 floor plans,
Okay.
a 1,500 floor plan and a 1,600 floor plan. So I built 4 of one floor plan and 5 of the other. So as my trades are going, they're just duplicating the same model.
What do you mean by, I'm sorry, what do you mean by trades? You said it before too.
Oh, trades are the subcontractors.
Okay. I never heard that. I never heard that before, so that's why.
Sorry, like I'm coming from Texas, guys. So. I don't know what the lingo is out here.
Nah, you good. Keep going.
Okay.
Yes, so my subcontractors, and so they'll pour 3 slabs at a time.
Okay.
Slabs is foundation.
Slabs are foundation.
Hey man,
I'm just saying. Okay, go ahead.
Yep.
that's cool.
And then you have like 2 crews, so they're just hopping from each house to each house, and they can do 2 to 3 plumbing grounds a day.
Wow.
So so that's how I'm easy to. As soon as they finish that house, they hop over to the next house. They finish that house, they hop over to the next house. And then I tried to keep the finishes very similar
Right.
to not complicate anything throughout that process.
Right.
But I mean, I think it's just being intentional about being efficient.
Right. Right.
And everybody being on the same page. So timelines, and I think naturally I'm just a strong like project manager in my head.
Yeah.
So, okay, it's like a warehouse line, basically.
Yeah, the assembly line.
It's the assembly line. Slab, 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 slab. Okay, inspection, 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 inspection. Boom. Framing, 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 framing.
Yes.
Inspection, inspection, inspection. Roughing, 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 roughing.
Yes.
It's an assembly line. It's like building a car, basically. So all you guys
Yes.
in the audience, right? Vanessa Cole is her name, for those of you just logged in.
Yes.
She's from Houston, Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas. That's why she's doing 10 clips in 9 plays, right? Everything's bigger in Texas.
Yes.
So you created your own assembly line or your warehouse line for building homes at scale. And that's how you're able to do these in less than
Right.
6 months.
Think about the iPhone. You know, it's just like just Apple products in general, right? You have your core product line. Like I'm not a Best Buy. I'm not trying to put all these different custom houses. Like we
Right.
would drive ourselves crazy. But we give them a sleek product. So my houses are modern finishes, sleek designs. You give the people what they want, open floor plans. So I'm like, if we can try to create the best product at the most affordable price and give it the best finishes as possible, well, then it's a win-win. And that's why they go under contract before I even break ground. So
You're selling off the renderings.
off the renderings.
The renderings is designs, like how I show you Garland Gardens. I'm just want to just
The renderings are a
make
So
sure
three-
you asked for me or for I mean,
I'm for all of y'all.
I know
right?
what a render is.
Okay.
A lot of this stuff applies to, other things too. not
Okay, I just want
homes.
to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate
a
that.
rendering is a picture.
Yeah.
Basically,
Basically. Or,
It's an
or a
architectural
concept.
picture
It could be a
that-
concept too
Yeah.
that's brought to life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you how much would that like cost, like how much does it cost to even start something like that? Like what are you putting up for this?
Which part?
good question.
Because it's like 9 homes. That's like
Yeah.
what do you.
So you have to buy the land, right? So like I said, the max I'm spending on the land is like 10 grand a lot.
Okay.
So we had to cobble up $90,000.
How much, what's like how much land is it for 10 grand?
50 by acre, 50 by 100.
50 by 100. So,
So
what is
they,
that?
Yes.
your house, the land that's on your house right
Yeah.
now, that's probably a 50 by 100 lot.
Okay.
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 So each lot, so then we had a private investor. I'm sure I know you talk about private investors on your channel. We had somebody come in with us, put up the money for us to take down the lots.
Okay.
And then we go to a bank and we tell the bank we need a construction loan. We need a construction loan to build all 9 houses.
Right.
And so my business partner had a good relationship with the bank, and they were like, yep, we've seen the work that you guys have done. Let's do it. And so when you go to get your construction loan, you have to submit your construction breakdown. So your
Okay.
construction costs.
Right.
So I'm saying, okay, it's going to cost me $175,000 to build this house, right?
Okay.
And you have to submit that to the bank. You have to submit your tax returns, your personal financial statement. And I tell people, if you don't have all these things, like if you're not in the position to do all this yourself, partner with somebody who is.
Right.
And that's what I did. I partnered with a general contractor in the beginning. He knew everything. He knew everything about construction. He had banking relationships. He had got knocked out in '08. I had the land, and I had city relationships. So it was a win-win.
Yeah.
Or you find somebody who is just financially strong.
Right.
And have them be the personal guarantor on your loan. And so then as you're building, you take out draws. So after we pour the slab, then we submit to the bank and we say, hey, bank, we just
started.
poured our slabs. We're ready to pull that $20,000 from that slab, from that line item.
Yeah.
Can you come send your inspector out and then pay me the money so then I can go pay the trade?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what we do for each stage of the process. Well, a lot of times, you're cobbling it up. So
Right.
I'm not,
Yeah. So it's like you do.
it's like phases.
Yeah.
We'll do like 7 draws throughout the entire 120 days.
Is that like what loan is like a 203K kind of?
203Ks, hard monies,
Right.
construction loans. They all, anytime, even if you're paying on cash, you should never give your contractors the money up front.
Right.
You should always pay them in draws too. And you are your own inspector, right? So even with Garland Gardens, like work gets done. Let me see. Da-da-da-da. This looks good to me. Here's payment.
Right.
That's why I was in Home Depot today buying roofing materials, because now I'm the GC. So I'm GCing my own deals. So I'm trying to save money everywhere I can. So I'm going to go buy my materials now. That delivery is coming on Monday. They have to go do my roof.
Yeah.
Roof is done. I make sure all T's are crossed, I's are dotted. Here you go. Send me an invoice. Now I pay you. Let's now move on to other framing things that we got to do, blah, 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 blah. So everything's in phases.
Yeah.
So when you said now is that per home these loans? So is it, do you do that all in one shot, or it's like on like over the next couple weeks?
So we'll get individual loans, but with one bank.
Okay.
So yes. And it's important that your numbers, like we do everything in QuickBooks as well. So each house is set up as its own project in QuickBooks. And my mom works for me. She's been working for me since the beginning of the company. And I have her send estimates and actuals to my inbox every Monday on each job. And I go through it line item by line item. And I want to see, what did we estimate for
Right.
this? And what did we actually spend? Because I don't want to get to the end of the project and say, why didn't we make any money?
Yeah.
Because that was
Yeah.
me in the very beginning. Because a lot of times as a beginner investor, you're operating on so much enthusiasm and optimism, and you're not being a realist, and you're not thinking like a business person. But you have to track those numbers. So that way, for example, on those same 9 homes, that's when COVID happened. Lumber prices
Shot up,
skyrocketed.
yeah.
I was like, and I had them all under contract. And I said, dude, our company is about to fold. Like, we're going to be in the red when we get out of here.
Yeah.
And I was like, hell no. So I called the city. I said, we need a price increase. Like, here are the numbers coming from the suppliers. I need to at least increase these houses by 15, 20 grand. I contacted the lenders and I said, hey, if we increase their mortgage, the purchase price amount, what would that do to their mortgage? It was like $50, $75.
Yeah.
So I called each buyer and I was like, hey, I hate to have this call. I was like, but I'm not going to be able to finish this house if we don't increase your sales price. And thankfully, a lot of them were like, oh yeah, my uncle is trying to build a new fence. Like he's saying these prices are crazy at Home Depot.
Yeah.
You know?
Home Depot.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay. I was like, but it's not going to hurt your, mortgage that bad. But those are the things, if you're not tracking your stuff in real time,
Right. You wouldn't even know.
you won't know.
Yeah.
And you
no
have to
idea.
be nimble. Like you have to be on it.
Yeah.
It's just, but it's fun. Like I love this stuff. I really do.
So you said, which I don't want to skip over, is you said if you don't have the money, you can find somebody who does. Where do you go, like, to find somebody who you can establish a relationship with to be in your shoes?
So I always tell people, bloom where you're planted. And this is just what worked for me. Like, you got to think, people do business with people that they like and trust,
Right.
right? So I had already been in real estate. I've been in real estate since I was 21. I'm 33 now. Like, people have seen me in my consistency and trying to grow in this business. So then they would come to me and say, hey, Vanessa, if you're doing something, let me know. I've got some money. And I was like, okay. You want some money? Well, then, and that's how I got like my first initial seed capital. It was one of the girls in the firm. She was like, I got money in my retirement account. So she did like one of those IRA transfers. And that was my initial seed capital to start in the company. And I got my first floor plans and paid the engineer.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so dope. Yeah, you said 33. Now I feel like I'm 12.
This guy.
I'm like 32, and it's like, damn, what's going on here?
Well, she was birthed in this, though. It's different, right? She's been doing this, like she said, 12 years since she was 21 years old.
Yeah, I got my real estate license at 21. Yeah.
Let me ask you about that. Look, before I get there, I want to keep it on the development real quick, right? So, all right, so you're building these homes, you're bringing out now. Now you're scaled, right? Now you went ahead and you are in contract to buy, 1,500 acres, which you've purchased already. You've closed on 700 of the 1,500 so far. So you broke it down in phases. Where the hell do you find 1,500 acres from, and how the hell do you acquire 1,500 acres?
Yes. So in this case, I have to give a lot of credit to my business partner, because my business partner really spearheaded that deal. And this was a project out in the country. And we actually had to bring in a capital group, a group that does like equity raising. So this deal was very much more sophisticated than I'm used to, but I'm learning a lot. But to add to that, to answer that question with a little bit more context, there is a book called Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun? And he talks about how sometimes you have to take a step back and let the token person kind of lead the transaction.
The token white person.
I was going to say you.
The token white person.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
And so, the owners of this 1,500 acres was 8 generations of, passing on this land to the family. And they did not look like us. So sometimes I have to now, and when we're in the city of Houston, a lot of the politicians there are African American. So sometimes he has to step back and bring in the token black girl, So Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun really talks about when do you come to the forefront and then when do you take a step back. You're still a part of the transaction, but maybe you're behind the scenes. So in this case, this is how we had to do the 1,500 acres.
Smart play.
You got to know, and that's the thing, like you try not to have too much ego into this business and too much pride, because then you're going to get in your own way, right? You're going to lose out on some really money-making deals. That project it's going to be $80 million in sales. Yeah.
How many houses are you building?
So in that one, we're just developing the lots. We're selling pre-developed lots. So I don't even have to swing any hammers. I don't have to bring my blue tape out.
All right, so let's break this down for the people who may not understand.
Yeah, I was going to say, what?
All right, so I'm going to break this down for you a little bit. All right, so when you're doing pre-developed lots, and correct me if I'm wrong. I know this already, but I'm going to...
No, good.
So you're developing the land, meaning you're clearing the land, getting the utilities, blah, blah, blah. And you have a whole little dance you do for that, right, to break that down, right?
Yeah.
So you're clearing the land, developing lines, you're getting the plans drawn, getting your renderings, and then you're going to the market with this, and you're selling the renderings, aka the photos, plot A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? And then the buyers themselves are going to get their own financing for the construction loans and things of that nature. And they're going to, as each lot sells and closes, then they're the ones on the hook for the construction loan.
So this play is separate from what I do in affordable housing.
Okay.
So what we just discussed earlier, that was the affordable housing process. On outside the county, when we go into these large acreage developments, it's different. So I actually bring in a sales team who knows how to sell raw land. And we do like these one-day sales. And the last one on my 100 acres, we sold 30 lots in one Saturday. So there's a whole thing.
Damn.
We run Facebook ads, we run radio ads. I mean, it's this whole, and you got to create like this whole FOMO experience of you got to get your lot now, you got to get your lot at the pre-developed price, or it's going to go up. And then people are like, they have this FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, they're writing checks on the spot. I mean, it's crazy. It's amazing. Like getting 30 lots under contract at one time, it was like, oh gosh, yes.
That's wild. That sounds crazy.
But it's a process. But it's great. And I love that because it diversifies us from the affordable housing. It's a different clientele. It's usually like retirees. It's people that want to leave out of the city, or it's people that want a second home. And it's not the first-time home buyers.
Right.
So, you know, when you're thinking business and investments, you just want to diversify your portfolio.
Agreed.
Right.
One stream of income is too close to being broke.
That part.
Yeah, yeah. So, I want to fully understand who, because you say you're not swinging no hammers, you're not doing no construction. Who's funding the construction of these homes? You and your team, or the buyers when they actually get into contract?
And on the land development
On
side,
the land development side.
once we sell them the land, they do whatever they want.
Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. Okay, so I misinterpreted what you're saying. So, you guys are just buying the acreage, selling the plots. This is your renderings. Do you?
Yes. So I'll give you the example. The 100 acres that we already own, we took that 100 acres and then we divided it into 52 individual lots.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And those 52 individual lots are 1.5 acres to 3 acre sizes. Because you have people in Texas that want to live, they want that piece of that country.
Yeah.
You know, they want land, they don't want their neighbors on top of them. Living in New York would give them so much anxiety, right? Because everybody's on top of each other.
Right.
No, they want space. And so we come in, we put in the roads, we put in the electricity and your fiber, and then we're out of there. We put in the entry monument, and then we hand over the HOA. They're coming in, they're putting in their own house when they're ready to build. They find their own builder.
They do their own architectural plans and everything.
They find their own builder that's going to do all that for them. And it's on well and septic. So I'm not coming in, I'm not running any water lines, and I'm not running any sewer lines.
That's a come up.
Man, it is.
That's a come up.
It's an addicting. Like, it's almost like, ooh, affordable housing. Ooh.
So wait a minute, hold on. I just want to make sure everybody understands this gem you just broke down, because how I just explained it in the beginning of this, I said they're buying it, they're getting their own funding, but you're still building.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not building
No,
on these. We can, but we're just solely coming in as land developers.
Land developers, that's it.
That's it.
The land developer play.
The land developer play. Correct.
It's not like the Toronto play, right? What they do over there with the developing?
Nah, see, they're developing fully. They're selling pre-development,
Okay.
like she just mentioned.
Right.
And then they are getting funding, and then the buyers are getting the construction loans, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
And then they're building
Gotcha.
from there.
Okay.
So they're acting as the GCs.
But this with hers is there's no
Me and you go find a piece of 100 acres. We split it up into 52 lots. Here's some plans of what your house could look like, or here's the lot. In her case, she says not even no plans. So there's a lot. There's an acre lot, 1.5 acres, 3 acres. We want 300,000, 500,000, 200,000, and the comps in the air. If you build this type of 5,000, 10,000 square foot, or you could probably build 10,000 square feet. That'll probably be a $3 million house, right?
Damn.
You go figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
on
and
your
you
own.
build when you're ready.
They just they just selling the land as is. So they just brought a big plot of land, subdivided it, and say, hey, it's yours if you want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if we have to develop it, then you're gonna pay a lot more. So
Right.
basically,
Yeah.
they're finding buyers who have the appetite to build their dream house
Correct. Yes. And in
on
that
their own dime.
Yeah. And in that play, you're normally working closely with your engineers, the county engineers, hydrologists, land planners, land surveyors, and then your GC who's going to come in there and do all the infrastructure. So,
Damn.
yeah. So, and it's totally different from the construction side. But that's what we love. We love that it's totally separate. So
Yeah, because you're not tying up your resources now. If you want to build more affordable, et cetera, you're actually finding a way to now, it's another revenue stream.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like we can go out here and get this land and we can make a decision. Are we going to fully develop this land and build our own properties, our own mansions or whatever we want, affordable mansions, whatever it is, or are we just going to land developer play and just, all right, we're just going to sell nice plots.
Correct.
And you do what you want to do because now that's a quicker sale. Remember, they said they had a one-day sale.
Yeah, it just
A
promoted it.
one-day
That's
sale
crazy, yeah.
where they sold 30 of the 52 in one day. That's
Yes.
cash money right now.
Yeah.
That, yeah.
How much was every lot going for on average?
Between, yeah, 125,000,
125. How much did y'all pay for the 100 acres?
2 million.
$2 million for the 100 acres. So you got to think about it, right? 125,000 on average times 30. Type in chat. What's that number? Type in chat. 125 average, because that's not the. We're just gonna do average
Yeah,
because
average.
every price is different. The bigger acres probably cost you 200, right? But 125,000 times 30. Think about how much money that was. Type in chat. What's the answer? I'm waiting on y'all. Y'all slow with your calculators today.
I'll wait.
Like, think about it. She said, how much you paid? $2 million for the lot. $2 million for the lot. I'm going to say it one more time. 30 acres times 125 on average. That's a play.
So we had already got our land costs back.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. And we had the money to fund the development,
And you still got 22 more lots.
which all that is just pretty much profit.
Profit.
A few more, lots that need to pay for stuff, but for the most part, profit.
When you say we, how many people are involved in this process?
It's three partners in this deal.
Three partners? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you pay $2 million for the acquisition, now how much did you guys spend to kind of cleaning it up and everything like that to get it together?
That was about 1.7
1.7 to clean and clear it and all the other good stuff?
to do all the construction.
Okay. So whatever
get it ready.
to basically develop the land for it to be ready for you to sell.
Correct.
So for development, for subdividing, all those permits, clearing the trees, water, sewer, whatever you had to do, all that good stuff. 1.7 million on top of the $2 million. So the 30 that sold covered everything, the acquisition. Now everything is profit.
And then you got to pay, I had to pay my sales team. And then to run the electricity. So our profit on this deal, it's about 3 million and some change. But we've only been in it for a little over 18 months. And I'm not dealing with a lot of like the city bureaucracy, like working with the county engineers. It's just different. Like there's not so many loopholes you have to go through when you're in the county, when you're outside of the county.
Yeah.
So my question to y'all is, right, because you have 100 acres and you could have made more than 52 lots.
Well,
Why
the
not?
county requirements, you cannot develop anything less than 1.5 acres.
Okay.
So they do have a minimum size requirement.
Okay, so why not make every lot 1.5 acres?
You could do that, but then, so that's when you bring in your sales team, right? Because your sales team has the expertise of knowing you don't want the entire subdivision to be the same.
The same?
Some
Okay.
people want when you have a buyer that type of buyer.
Yeah.
They kind of want their own unique feel.
Okay.
And then not every buyer wants an acre and a half. They want the biggest lot,
Right.
which was really interesting because our more expensive lots were selling first
Oh wow.
than our cheaper lots. And this is around the time when like the feds were having all those price rate increases, and that's a whole nother thing. But
So total, you said it was how many? 52?
yeah, 52 lots.
52. So yeah, so that's crazy. So the rest was just
Profit.
Now, when how much? I know it sounds good. The number sounds great, but when you take that profit, do you obviously reinvest it into the next property? Like how?
Yeah.
At what point? Because this is the one thing I don't understand with real estate and profit. People always say you should take that money and reinvest it, right? Mm-hmm. But how do you allocate like a certain amount of money to be spent for yourself? Like,
So I think that's a great question. So my business partner and I have we've put ourselves on salaries.
okay,
So we take out a very minimal salary every month. So when we get our profits, they go into the account, and we're just building that war chest. And then we get our direct deposit every month, and we've calculated what's something that is comfortable enough,
right,
still conservative enough, that we can still have a decent life.
right,
Right. And I think, because if not, then when you get that $500,000, you're just looking at, I got $500,000. Well, you got to pay property taxes on
Yeah.
it. And then, are you going to have money for your next project? Or there's just different things that you have
Yeah.
to think about. So those are gross numbers, but then
Yeah.
what's the actual net? Right. And then for me, it's a long-term play. Like, I don't want to just do one deal and I'm done.
right.
Like, no, I want to be here 10, 15, 20, 30 years, building globally, developing globally, internationally.
Live below your means.
Yeah.
Live below your means.
Yeah, because again, too many people, and this is where you see people get messed up. They overextend themselves because all of this money is coming in, but they're not thinking that the business has to continue to thrive. The business and you are two different things,
Yeah.
and two different entities, and that's why I always say one stream of income is too close to being broke. When you're running a business, you can't just focus on that one stream, especially in real estate, because if you're flipping, selling, that's transactional,
Right.
right? That's not cash flow.
Yeah.
Cash flow, that's passive income. This transactional money is here today, gone tomorrow. And you have staff, you have things you have to do with that money. You have to pay people.
Right.
And it takes, that's an
You
18
have
month,
operating costs.
that's 18 months of a transaction though.
Yeah.
That's not, I brought it today and I sold it tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's a process, right? So when you got to think about it, your company has to survive for that 18 to 24 months before these transactions start happening. Look what happens if the market corrects itself, lumber goes up, materials go up, all these things happen. And most of the time, new business owners don't think about these things. Like they said, they're thinking like, and there was nothing wrong with your question. I don't want people to think I'm trying to get on you about how do you get the money for yourself, right?
Oh no, I was just
No, it was a good question.
Yeah.
But you can't think about yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to do other things or have enough reserves for your personal life so that way whatever money's coming in, especially in the beginning years, that you can survive. And your business, most importantly, can survive because your business is the most important thing. It's more important than you. You can go be homeless. Who cares? No, seriously.
Yeah, it's true.
The business got to keep going
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
if you in it for the long term, the business has to eat. All your profit or majority of your profit should go back into your business to keep building the war chest and keep growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing.
So you got to treat yourself basically as an employee.
You are an
that goes-
employee.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like no, but
You are-
seriously, like treat yourself as an employee
you are
and
an
not.
employee.
Yeah.
No, you are a fucking employee
Right.
of your own
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
Running a business is just a glorified fucking job.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Everybody talk, I want to be a boss. No, you don't. Everybody a boss until the invoice come. What Jay-Z said?
Yeah.
Everybody a boss until the invoice come, bro. This shit costs money.
Yeah. And so,
Who paid for it?
yeah,
The boss.
It's true.
seriously.
Everything get paid before the boss. The boss the last one to eat.
All of my lavish items were purchased by someone else. So,
That's a play too, but that's a whole different podcast. That's a whole different podcast. Vanessa, that's not.
Wait, maybe is that what you're talking about? Is that you talking about the same thing or no?
We're talking about the same thing. I don't know what
okay.
you're talking
All right,
about.
no. I mean, I'm just I don't know. Maybe she's gonna go somewhere else with it. I mean.
no.
Oh, okay.
Keep,
All right.
keep your money.
Okay, so yeah, I get it.
Nigga, have you looked at her?
No, it could have been something else.
Are you looking at how chooks? What are you looking at?
I get it. It could have been something else. It could have been a different play or something. I don't know.
The man gonna spin on this, okay?
You're silly.
I'm just trying to say, like, no broke energy over here. No broke energy.
Yeah.
All right, that's like I said, it's a whole different podcast. But now we gotta go though. It's 6:10. I didn't even realize it was this late.
Oh, wow.
And we got to be somewhere in like 50 minutes and gonna have mad traffic. Let me see, because we gotta.
Nah, this was this is the first time I actually learned. Well, I can't say that, but when it comes to development stuff, like it just always went over my head. But I definitely got a clear understanding of it now.
Good.
For sure.
And it's a lot more we didn't cover too. We were supposed
sure
to talk
there
about
is.
gap funding. We were supposed to talk about a whole different thing. So I'm gonna put you on the spot. I need you to teach a class, Vanessa. They're in the comments talking about this need to be a whole class.
Yeah.
What's up? Can I get you to come to my Philly class? July 27th, July 28th? What are we doing?
Okay, let's talk about it.
All right, what if I do a class in Houston?
Okay.
Is that easier for you? Should I do a class in Houston, y'all?
Class
Houston.
in Houston.
Should I do a class in Houston?
I never been to Houston.
H-Town.
I've been to Texas. I got
Everything's
family
bigger than
but-
Texas.
Yeah.
I want to go to Turkey Leg Hut. Houston coming up after Philly. That's the next class. All right, tell them how to follow you again. Tell them all your information.
Instagram, the Vanessa Cole. That's where I'm at.
There you go. The Vanessa Cole. Go to IG. Holla at her.
You can see some of my work and yeah, happy to help.
The receipts are on her page, ladies and gentlemen. This was good. Any
Also
final gem?
LinkedIn too.
Okay, tell me your LinkedIn. Vanessa Cole?
LinkedIn, I think it's Vanessa
Okay.
Cole.
You got one last gem for the audience before we get out of here?
Yeah, stay intentional. Stay intentional about what it is that you're doing and quiet the noise around you. It's very important to sit still and think and get clear of the direction that you're heading. And then once you make that decision, just go full speed and reach out to all the people around you and just let them know, here's where I'm going, here's where I'm headed, I need help, and just go after it. Go after it. The only limitations are the ones that we place on ourselves. So, much success to you all.
Facts.
Ladies and gentlemen, drop some gems in the comments for Vanessa Cole. Make sure you go follow her, follow Tukes, follow me. Hit the like button. I know this was not our typical 2 hours.
No, it was a solid count. Like I learned a lot.
It was solid. We could have went longer, but we're gonna come to Houston probably in I don't know. Maybe we go in July. We do Houston and Philly in July. Fuck it. Why not?
Here we go.
Why not?
Why not? We're gonna do Houston and Philly in July. Why not?
Why not?
Okay.
Why not?
Why not?
Send it.
Look, we coming to Houston in July, y'all. I'm gonna get the dates in about a week. We're gonna figure this out. The master classes coming soon.
Oh yeah, Kiana said yes, please come to Houston.
There you have it. Come to Houston. H-Town. Money making moves said H-Town.
H-Town.
Drop some gems in the comments for my girl Vanessa Cole. We are out of here. This is Matt Garland. Go to mgbookstore.com. Make sure you pick up the free glossary or join the Learning Center because those are the first people who are going to get access to these classes. These classes are 50 people, no more than that. All right, so when we come to your city, it's not going to be 200, 300, 400 people. It's going to be 50, just so you know. All right, 2-day masterclass coming to Houston soon. All right, Matt Garland, NMLS number 58700, better known as MG the Mortgage Guy. Peace.